Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another CueSoc competition video. Today, very exciting event. We have the CueSoc League Season 8. That's the April League Season 8 Finals. Today's matchup we've got against, how would you say this, Harris? WYS? It's WYS? Playing against Best Botch, Shafts and Tips. And on WYS we've got Naditha, who's a 17 handicap, Timothy, a 22, and Jonathan, a 22. So a very solid team we've got here. And also we've got on the Best Butts, Shafts and Tips team, we've got Richard, a 12, and Oliver, 22, and Alex, who's a 22. So oddly enough, it's a very evenly balanced match today. Harris, what do you think?
No, I agree. I think the handicaps are very dispersed, and also if we ignore the handicaps and look at sort of team synergy, I think both teams are very comparable in terms of team synergy as well. They're all really good mates, and they all get along well. And I think that translates really well to the table as well, since even though you're competing in singles in this event, there will be some team play as well. And obviously the mental game is big here. You want some motivation from your teammates as well. So really similar skill gap, I'd say, which is good for a final. That's what it is.
Yeah. So to put in perspective, out of the 6 players playing today, 4 of them are the exact same handicap. So it could really go anyone's way. So up first we're going to play 3 singles matches at the same time. We have Naditha breaking against Oliver, Timothy and against Alex, who breaks, and Jonathan breaking against Richard.
Yeah, so the way we're going to do it is, obviously we've got 3 tables here, because since we've got a few sets of singles to go through, but we'll be covering footage of 2 players on 1 TV table, and then the other single matches will be going on at the same time, and then when we get to the doubles matches, we'll be streaming all 3 of those double matches for you guys. If you're unfamiliar with the format of the comp, it's a 3 versus 3 event that runs over sort of like a season, like a soccer season or a rugby season. And the event we're at now is the finals day, which is essentially the culmination of that regular season. And you have 3 players on 3 players, and each team will play 3 sets of singles and then 3 doubles matches to round it out.
Yeah, so on the TV table that we have here today, up first we have Naditha, who is breaking against Oliver. And do we have any background in the place?
Yeah.
Alright, awesome. So Oliver, who's on...
Is Oliver playing? It is.
Yeah, okay, so Naditha is playing against Oliver. And Oliver is a second year civil engineering student at UTS. You may have remembered him from, I believe he won the 9-ball recently.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, he very solid game from Oliver, beating Reiko in the final.
Yeah.
So he makes another appearance here today, and playing his first game against Naditha, who's I'd say is one of the most improved players over this past year. What do you think?
This is Nad's first appearance in a finals video, I guess. And did Nad play last season? Do you remember? Last season with
I think so.
I think he did.
Yeah.
Maybe I think Nad has had a previous appearance with Jono in a league season.
Yeah.
But this is his first time on a TV table.
As I recall, in season 7, I think he won the MIP.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that actually. Yeah. And since winning a Most Improved Player award, I think Nad has definitely progressed even further. He's definitely skyrocketed above that cap in this season as well. So you guys will definitely see Nad's a very capable player. And after watching him today actually and talking to Jono and Tim about Nad's performance, he's been playing really well today as well. I think Nad, again, this ties in with the sort of synergy of the team, but Nad doesn't fall to pressure that easly, probably because he's very comfortable playing with Tim and Jono as well.
Yeah, I think it goes a long way to say that the synergy within the team is very important when you're playing formats like League, because you do play a number of doubles matches, and to know that, I'd say if you're feeling a lot more comfortable playing with your teammate, it goes a long way than for your confidence levels.
Yeah,
playing the game.
Of course, because then I guess the notion of pressure is less likely to get to you when you're surrounded by players that I guess you're comfortable with.
So we've got Nad here. taking on the solids. I believe so Oliver's yet to come to the table, I think, and he's done very well there. I think as a rule of thumb for these, I say lower skill level players, it's a good idea to always position your cue ball in the middle of the table. If you can't always get perfect pinpoint position, if you get the cue ball position in the middle of the table, it goes a long way for you to being able to run the rack, especially early on.
Yeah, 100%. In 8-ball, I think because you're presented with so many options, being in the middle of the table is a really great position. If you saw there, Nad did miss the pot on the 1, but his position was really great. He was in the middle of the table and he had a choice sort of where he wanted to go from the 1 ball. I think he just took his eye off the pot there. And like while we say that, again, Oliver is, like you said before, he's a finalist from 9-ball this trimester, I think. And he's very capable of clearing the table given such an open layout that Nad left for him. So
he's a very confident player. I guess that goes. It kind of goes both ways when you get good position in the middle of the table and you don't get the pot. It leaves you a little bit vulnerable, leaving the table. But Oliver's a very experienced player, and you'd back him running out the table quite a lot. Unfortunately, he's gotten a bad kiss on a full ball kiss on the 1, so he's going to have to kick at this 10 ball.
Oh, good hit. A very thin contact there.
But he's managed to hit it and not concede the foul. And this puts a lot of pressure on Nad.
Yeah, I think as long as he can come somewhere in the middle of the table, like you said, Nad will be in a pretty good position. Or perhaps he left it for the middle. He wanted the thing in the corner of the middle there, so he rolled forward a little. That's okay too.
He might have thought about playing a little bit of two-way there.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, leaving a lot of distance between the 10 is also a good idea. I think that's probably what Nad played there, and it was a good shot as well.
So in this format, we have a singles timeout and a doubles timeout for all the singles matches for each team, and all the doubles timeout for all the doubles matches for each team. And Tim just used the timeout on one of the matches off the table, not the TV table. So,
right.
Yeah,
so what does the timeout mean for the team, I guess?
So, essentially, when you're playing in the league, if you're playing your match, you are not supposed to be able to talk to your teammates whilst they're playing the shot. And I think Tim must have saw something that Jono, like he might have had a better idea than what Jono was about to play, so he called the timeout just to sort of correct him or kind of discuss with him what sort of pattern he was playing. So very early on, they've already used their timeout, and with no games completed, they put themselves in a position where they can no longer call any timeout. So if there's any very compromising situations,
they won't be able to say anything.
They won't be able to say anything.
So I think especially for such a team-oriented event, despite the fact that you're playing singles, your teammates are going to be watching you some of the time.
And just now, we had Nad shooting the 8-ball, and it just hung over the pocket. So almost had it so close to just being Oliver just there. Oh! And Oliver has misjudged his stun shot and has rolled it into.
Yeah, I think that was on the very cusp of staying out of the pocket rather than in. So very unlucky there from Oliver. But the saving grace is with CueSoc League, or 8-ball League in particular, as a contrast to 9-ball League, the amount of balls you pot on the table always gives you a number of points, right? So each ball is worth 1 point. And even if you lose the frame, that's not the end of the day, because at the end of the day, the most important thing is to score points for your team. The team with the most points at the end of the day wins. So even if we have a situation like that where Oliver pots the 8 with a foul as well, it's not the end of the world, which is why I guess this format is so approachable.
Yeah.
And why even if you're behind, you can still catch up. You can still pot balls and play consistently, and there's still a chance for you to win. So yeah. Not the end of the world for best spots
You weren't ready for that.
and shafts and tips. Look, I'm not gonna lie, Will. That's a mouthful of a name, but not as bad as 9-Ball League Season 2, which we won't comment on. But the names were even worse for the 9-Ball season that we played last time. Me and Gladden commentated.
Check out our last video for that one.
So yeah, as we finish the match between Oliver and Nad there, it will be a blank table, but we're just watching Richard and Jono finish up their match on the table just next to us, so it shouldn't be too long.
I'll just play me an Oliver first.
Me and Oliver.
Who are we going to get on the TV team?
Do you want me to play me and Oliver now, or just wait?
Wait, just wait. Wait until the next match.
I'm going to take the order in a minute.
Should do Tim and Richard on the TV team.
How about...
Yep.
Tim. Yeah, so we're going to try and, I guess, expose all the players for viewing. We'll try and get a singles match that involves every single player on both teams as we try and figure out how that's going to work.
So right now on the other table, we've got Richard and Jonathan wrapping up their match. They're both on the 8-ball. It's a very long pod, probably the longest pod you can take on these tables. Oh, and he's just missed it.
Come on, Jonathan!
Are they playing a match? I don't know. I think they are. I guess they can just start. Should be fine. So while we're waiting, I think Nat and Alex have started their next match on the TV table. So I guess we'll direct our attention to that. But yeah, as we said, a little bit of a black ball battle going on between Richard and Jono. And actually, since I competed in this season, Will, I played against Richard in the round before this, so the semi-finals. And yeah, just like Nat, Richard has actually, I talked to Oliver and Alex about Richard's performance today. And he's been the MVP of their team. He's been sort of the underdog player that's been performing very consistently and sort of holding the team together in doubles and stuff, which is really nice to see when the player with the lowest handicap actually is able to come through like that. It's very endearing, I think. And,
yeah, it actually happens quite a bit during our CueSoc leagues. I think in almost all our CueSoc leagues, the finalists have consisted with a number of lower handicap players, and they've actually contributed to a lot of the success of the winning teams.
Yeah, I think if we sort of throw back to 9-Ball League Season 2, what I remember is we had a team with, I think, Xing, Michelle, and Anita. And Anita and Michelle were the lower handicaps of that team, but they were actually sort of powerhousing that match. Like, they were playing really well. Not to say that Xing was playing bad, but that's just one example of how, this sort of thing, this sort of phenomenon, I guess, can happen.
Because the league is handicapped, it goes a long way when a player is playing above their expected output. So, for example, if you're just a very new player coming into the league, you don't really, your handicap's not going to be very high. And if you are competing against these better players, you're not conceding as many points towards the team handicap, and it allows for a lot of room for you to grow and a lot of room for opponents to catch up.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of variety in team making as well.
Yeah. So if you're a beginner player and you're watching this, don't worry if you're not the greatest player. It's a lot of the times, everyone who started, they started out somewhere, and no one really came to the sport being one of the best players that we've ever seen. And it's just practice and growth, and a lot of it is to do with the league. I can't really say anyone in CueSoc has improved drastically outside of the league.
Yeah,
I think everyone.
I agree with that.
I think everyone who's made huge amounts of improvement have played in the league at one point.
Yeah, I think if I draw on personal experience, since all the players that we have on the final, even on the TV table, we have Alex and Nad, Tim and Jono, and Richard and Oliver. I've actually, you know, I'll say born and raised. I've been brought up with these players. I've been in CueSoc the majority of my time, and I've seen these players improve. So I'm mates with all of these guys, and yeah, it's definitely nice to see when you have different teams come together, and when you have different contrasting play styles come together, you see the improvement for yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, like you said, Will, definitely not a daunting experience because I've known all of these guys, and I can tell you, as we see Alex using the rest here, I can tell you when Alex was a beginner because I was there, right? And now he's here playing in a CueSoc final. He definitely has come a long way, I'd say, from being. But like you said, everyone makes that journey. Everyone starts from the bottom, I guess, and makes their way up. And no doubt, it's a fun experience as well. All the time you're doing it.
So if you're a low handicap player and you're interested in playing league, I know there's quite a lot of high handicap players who are looking for teams because we do enforce a handicap limit on each team. So if you are a low handicap player, feel free to sign up on the form the next time it comes out, and we can pair you with a team and with players that have experience and are just looking for lower handicap players to fill up the teams. And it will go a long way in you improving, and also like you'll have a lot of fun doing it because I think league is one of the most rewarding experiences that we have for CueSoc.
A very close miss there from Alex. I think just caught the sort of the bottom-most drawer of that middle pocket, and he would have had a great position on the 8. But now the ball's in Nad's park, I guess. He's got to find a way to clear this up. Or Nad can potentially play a safety here. It's quite easy since Alex is only on the pink 12 ball there, sort of in the top left. So we'll see how Nad tries to deal with this.
That worked out very well for Nad. He stunned the ball right behind the 4, which is, I would say, co-linear with the 12 ball. So he'll have to do... It's very, very difficult for him to pot this. And his 12 hasn't ended up in a good position either. So I think Nad's got a really good chance in this rack, I would say.
Yeah, I think the best that Alex could hope for there was a good contact, and he did get one. And the rest was sort of down to luck, I guess. I think the 12 ball is sort of blocking the potting angle on the orange 5 ball there, just next to it. Mm-hmm. So if Nad can potentially break out that little cluster or find a way to sort of bump into the 5 from the 7 maybe, however he tries to deal with it, then the 5 will be pretty potable. It'll sort of float towards that top left corner. So yeah, definitely a very good chance. And wow, great pot. We're sort of we're sort of right in the line of that pot. That was really nice.
That was perfect. So when you have a ball that's tied up like that, so Alex's last strike ball is tied up with a 5 and doesn't really go into any pocket at the moment. I think Nad can play a little bit more free and just like kind of let his stroke out, kind of just make his potting a little bit more, like build a bit of confidence in his potting.
Yeah, exactly. Since even if Nad misses a shot here, since Alex's 12 ball is tied up, so there's sort of no real negative consequence as long as Nad avoids sort of that top half of the table, just like this. Nad can leave the ball anywhere, and sort of any way Alex hits this, we can sort of bet that the outcome will probably be good for Nad. Since his balls will be broken out, he'll be able to run the table and sort of develop the frame a little more than it is right now.
Yeah. And just a quick update on some of the other matches going on. Jono and Oliver just finished up their match, and Oliver took that match 10-4. So, best butts, shafts, and tips have won their first frame after the WYS team winning their entire first set.
Yeah, so if you're watching this, I think you'll see the live scores in the scoreboard. So me and we'll keep to ourselves about the score, since there can be errors sometimes, just minor calculation errors. But yeah, of course, you guys will see the accurate score. We'll just deliberate on sort of if there's a big lead or stuff like that. But we always double check the scores at the end of each round just to make sure that the adding up is correct.
So each frame has been pretty close thus far, and even though WYS has won all 3 of their first singles, because they gave a 5-point head start, it's a very close game at the moment. So I think right now they only lead by a point. So best botch shafts and tips lead by a point at the moment, and we've got 2 more singles of this set, including the TV table that you're watching now. And yeah, I think it's going to be a very close match regardless. This one.
I mean, yeah, like you said, we've already seen that in these opening frames. And a little bit of a tricky sort of layout here for Nad. As you can see him sort of grimacing on his face there. I think his biggest concern is the position on the 7 ball. As long as he can get that sort of out of the way and done early, or maybe even if he gets position off his 4 ball for that 7, it'll be very good for him, since he won't have to worry about coming in that far sort of top little portion behind the 12 ball of the table.
That's a good idea. I think another idea he might be thinking is that whether or not he wants to play completely offensive, or whether or not he wants to play a little defensive, pot a couple of balls and then maybe leave it safe on the other end of the table. I think that might be a good idea. But I think regardless, he'll go offensively, and then if it doesn't really work out in his favor, then he always has the option to play safe.
Yeah, especially with that 12 ball sort of in the middle top half. Anywhere that Nad can leave the ball down here with a 6 ball, if he wants to play a safe, will be fine for him. But as we say that, I think he's got great position here, great angle on the 5 ball, to sort of just drift upwards for the 6 ball. And I guess we'll see how he goes with this.
He's played a great pattern here.
Wow, great shot there. Sort of coming across the table, sort of 1.5 times, I like to say. And as long as Nad can stay down on the shot, sort of view the angle correctly, I think he should have pretty natural position on the 8 ball. Very nice shot there. Really well struck too. And yeah, just another one of those shots on the 8 ball where Nad's got to concentrate and then hopefully he can get this in. Wow, what a clean part.
That was amazing. Really good stuff.
So yeah, a victory for WYS there, giving them another 10 points. But because Alex, was he playing Alex? Yeah.
Yep, he was
because
playing
Alex potted 6 balls, you see he's got 1 12 ball left on the table there. He'll still get points for that loss. And we're going to get a few more matches started here. We're just going to figure out which players are playing who.
Yep.
I think it's Tim and Richard. Playing on the TV table as Tim will be racking up here. So I know that from personal experience, Tim and Jono they started playing pool together, and they've definitely improved sort of over the years together as well. So you'll find that they have a very similar skill set, maybe influenced off each other, who knows. But what I like about Tim's play style in particular is you were saying before, Will, how Nad could easily play a safety or sort of like a containing shot, I guess. And Tim's a big fan of those in his play style. He's very creative with his shots, where some players will see a completely offensive option. Tim will see the defensive option, even if it's not clear there.
I've definitely observed that as well when in times that I've played with him. And yeah, he's actually he's adopted that, I'd say probably 50-50. Oftentimes he'll play a completely defensive shot when the run-out is on because he has a higher chance of executing the defensive option as opposed to just going offensively.
Yeah, he plays, in pool we like to say playing with percentages, or playing sort of in your odds. You know, if you have any doubt that you're not going to clear up the table, playing a safe is often the better option when going offensive. Obviously there's merits to both offensive and defensive play. But, Tim's, I'd categorize him as a very defensive player.
Now we have Richard playing against Tim. It's our first look at Richard on the TV table.
Actually very interesting, Will, since we sort of have like pairings off, I guess. I know Jono and Tim are very close friends outside of pool. Mm-hmm. And then we have Richard and Alex, who are also very close friends at uni. And then we have Oliver and Nad, who are also very close to the other two. So it's actually like very amicable, I'd say, a very amicable final. And all these guys know each other as well.
Yeah.
So it's a very, not too casual, because obviously we're in the final. It's somewhat of a competitive atmosphere,
Yeah.
but definitely.
Definitely a lot of bragging rights on show for this one.
Exactly. These guys are all comfortable playing with each other. But yeah, I know Richard and Alex, since they go to my uni as well. I've bumped into them a couple of times, but yeah, they're very close mates at uni as well. And actually, you go first.
And oftentimes I'd say that these close friendships actually start with league. I know for me, starting out in my first season of league, I didn't really know anyone in CueSoc, and I've made...
What year was this year? If you can remember.
It was 2016, I believe.
Right. Okay.
So 2016, I played my first season of league, which was season 2 at the time, and I played with Reiko and BC. And now Reiko and I are pretty close friends.
BC and Reiko are still in the they still play today as well.
Yes,
so they've come as far as you have.
Yes, and definitely. And from our inception into league, we were all very low handicap players, I would say, or relatively low. And now we're all 20 plus, which is I would say on the higher end of CueSoc play. And I think I'm very proud of Reiko and BC for the improvements they made to the game, and kind of sticking with CueSoc and yeah, just kind of making this family atmosphere around league.
And you mentioned sort of sticking with CueSoc. I know this is your last. Is it true that it's your last trimester?
This is my last trimester, so this is actually my last event at all.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Right. So you're not coming to HSC Social Pool, which should be sometime soon, guys. Have a look out for the event. But yeah, no. Jokes aside, I'll be sad to see you go, Will. I think, especially with the video scene of CueSoc, since you guys are enjoying sort of the content now, as an aside, it's all these finals and stuff, the video side of CueSoc was something that was started by Will. It's something that was fueled by Will's passion in the beginning. And I'd like to personally thank Will for, planting that seed and giving way for such a fun and vibrant sort of aspect of CueSoc that never used to exist. When you started playing League, I'm sure that
it would have been a great idea for to incorporate videography in the earlier seasons of League, but
it wasn't there, right?
It just wasn't possible at the time because skill sets and I'd say passions didn't really align with creating the video side of things. But after pushing it, and Harris, you did a wonderful job picking that up, and everything. It's kind of blown out of proportion, which I didn't really expect. So yeah, thank you, Harris.
But yeah, now you guys know sort of, I guess, the origins of where your source of entertainment comes from, if you're watching this, of course, because I think CueSoc videos are actually, because we don't get to see much footage of City Heroes outside of, even if we exclude CueSoc footage, outside if we take, New South Wales events or global events for pool, we rarely see footage of City Heroes and pool in New South Wales particularly, let alone in the venue of City Heroes, which is also such a great venue for the sport since it's so vibrant, it's so popping, it's so...
it's really bustling, I would say.
Bustling, yeah, exactly. That's exactly the word I would use, actually. So yeah, I guess this is just one of the chances for us to give exposure to the scene that exists here. And yeah, it's something that we all enjoy, that is brought to life through these videos. And I think with that shot there, if we focus back on the TV table, Tim was sort of wary of the scratch there, or maybe floating with the side pocket, which is why maybe his angle on the pot wasn't perfect.
I think he was actually looking to block the pocket there because he had to go rail first.
Oh, that's true. I guess with the pace that he was playing it, an element of safety there.
Another excellent defensive play by Timothy Xing. Another excellent defensive play.
Another excellent safety by Xing.
Does the 13 go?
Oh, it does go.
In the bottom left?
Yeah.
Oh, so, okay, so we've confirmed from Tim that the 13 does go in the bottom left for Richard. So, not in too bad of a position here. I think a difficult cut for either shot that Richard wants to take on here, for either of the stripes.
Yeah.
But But the good news is that the 12 goes in the bottom right, so if Richard comes 2 rails across here, wow.
Great shot.
Shot.
Favorable kiss on the 8 as well.
As much as that shot looks sort of underwhelming, just because of the nature of the pool table, that was an insane shot by Richard. And we'll see how he goes with the 12 here.
He just needs to hit this really softly. Yeah, that's perfect.
Ooh.
It was very good pace.
Yeah, I can't overstate how insane the shot Richard just played there. A very advanced line as well. You know, since the speed of that shot is very hard to control if he tried to hold on the left side for the 12 without sort of bumping on the side rails back and forth like you saw there. So yeah, I just wanted to emphasize my appreciation for that shot because that was insane. That was very insane. And another good chance for Tim here.
Tim once again going for the defensive option.
Yeah, no, we see our comments coming to fruition about Tim's sort of defensive game. And you know, it works. Like you said, it pays dividends. It's a very good outcome for him here. And just like Alex was kicking for a ball in the first frame, this is a similar sort of situation where I think Richard's going to be looking for a very good contact. The last thing he wants to do is give a ball in hand, but the pot is sort of a very big ask here.
I just want to mention how that was a really good safety because it's more of a 2-part safety because it not only does it so it's done all the time. Okay. But he did block the 8. But he did block the 8 from the closer pocket.
I think that's what he tried.
Yeah.
Maybe. Apologies, guys. Our angle is very deceptive. I think that's like the biggest meme of commentating CueSoc events is that the angle is always deceptive for us. But at the same time, I think I can definitively say that the 8 ball does not go in the left, unlike the last shot. Since Richard's taking so long in the shot, he's giving it a lot of care. So if it went, we would have shot it already. I guess that's what we say.
So he is going to go for the kick into the bottom right-hand pocket here. And the team quickly calls the timeout. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you see here one of the situations where the team gets to discuss. So all 3, even in a timeout, all 3 players, you'll see this in doubles I think as well, it'll come up. Even if 2 players are playing on the table or 1 person is playing, your whole team is allowed in to discuss the shot that you're about to play. Not just you and the captain, the team captain, or not just you and 1 player. It's a whole team effort because you can all sort of contribute to the game situation, I guess. And I wonder what Richard will play here.
I think he tried to sneak the 8 behind the 5 ball. But,
And maybe try and block the pocket there. Maybe that's what he's
yeah,
trying to do.
came up a little bit short. But I think Tim will have to do really well here to control the cue ball after the shot.
Yeah, there's one of those, if he wants to draw it, I guess, one of those sort of drag draws. I guess you really want it to sort of drag off the side rail as you come backwards, but you don't want it to come too far out for the 2 ball here.
I think that's his only option because he doesn't want to bump into the 8, I think.
Wow, great line there. Very great line there. So a little stun shot to come back and forth across the line. I always think that's one of the most beautiful shots in pool, Will, where sort of if you look at the 2 ball here, you sort of draw a line from your pocket to the 2.
Yeah.
When your cue ball for position comes across that line more than once, I think it's sort of a work of art. If you like.
Yeah.
And wow, great shot there. Ooh! Hung up on the pocket. That looks like it was going in from our angle. And Tim will concede the frame there by he potted the 8 ball. And yeah. So how's our score looking here, Will, as you add it on?
Don't we play all on the match table as well?
Wait, 1 second. Who hasn't been on the match table? Jono hasn't been on the match table.
Jono's played his singles. So we've only got 2 singles left, and the current score is 60 to 57. So still very close game. But we've got 2 singles left, and on the TV table we might have. I think we'll have.
need to play these 2? Is that the ones we need to play?
Yeah. So I think we'll play Tim and Oliver.
Yeah. My break, right?
Yeah. So we'll play Tim and Oliver on the TV table, and we'll have Nad and Richard playing on the table adjacent. Jono versus Alex has already been played out, and Jono won that match 10-6.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get to. Did we get to see John? I don't think we did.
No, we didn't.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to see John on the TV table for singles, but we will see him in doubles.
Yep.
So have no fear, you'll get to see run out Jono.
He's just too quick.
Exactly. He just runs out too fast, and we're just here waiting, and it's already happened. But yeah, I'm actually very keen to see the doubles play out for this because, like we keep saying it, right? The teamwork and the synergy between these teams is really great.
Yeah.
And when you have that sort of vibe, it really resonates in doubles. It's very physically visible when you watch them on the camera, which will be really nice to see.
Yeah. This is going to make for a very interesting last couple of matches. So close, handicaps so close together. It's really anyone's game. It's just who performs in the moment.
Oh, and actually, on a different note, nice break from Tim there. Really good spread, actually. On a different note, I was actually going to mention the awards for this season.
Oh yeah, of course.
So, actually, the funny thing is, I guess we'll go through it in order. So, the way it works in April League is you have a regular season, and today we're at the finals day, so we're bringing you footage from the finals day, but the regular season is over an 8-week period, and you'll also sort of accrue victories there and defeats, and sort of a win-loss ratio, I guess, and some points. And at the end of the regular season, which is that 8 weeks, we crown a minor premiership winner, just like any other sport.
Yeah.
And the minor premiers for this season was actually WYS, Tim, Jono, and Nad's team. So what that means is they managed to have the most wins and stack up the most points and play the most consistently throughout the season. So they got an award for that, and they got a bunch of prizes as well. I think a few hoodies and stuff.
And I believe that best butts, shafts, and tips also came second. So you're actually looking at the first and second seed.
Yeah. Okay.
Of season 8. So they've definitely played very well throughout the season, but also very well in the finals to make it to this point.
Yeah, and actually, as Oliver steps up to the table, Oliver was our MVP for this season.
Yeah.
MVP is measured by not only points. Since if we look at only stats, and in terms of only points, Oliver was not at the top of the leaderboard this season.
He was very close.
Very
I
close.
think it was second. Yeah.
Yeah. There was another player, I think it was Rakel, that was at the top.
So Rakel had the highest point difference of this season, but the difference between Rakel and Oliver was, I would say, it was sort of negligible, considering that Oliver is also a lower handicap than Rakel. So it's much more impressive for Oliver to have that level point difference than Rakel was.
Yeah, of course. So that's the stats side of things. Yeah. And then if we also look at, the non-numerical side of things, Oliver was chosen for MVP because of his great mentality at the table, especially playing with his team as well. Oliver's, guys, if you ever meet Oliver in real life, he's always a city hero. He's playing, he always wants to race. He's so jovial, always in a good mood. Will always cheer you up if you're down. The guy's here just to play pool with you, man. And that's another reason why we chose him for MVP, because he's valuable not only in the statistical sense, but in the sort of moral sense.
How poetic.
Exactly. And yeah, Oliver's just a great dude, and that was another factor why he was chosen for that award. But yeah, the reason that's so interesting that Oliver's playing on the TV table is because we have the team here in the final, and they've also accrued an award before they got here.
Yeah.
And then what other awards did we have here?
So our most improved player for this season, I believe, was Wilson Coe.
Wilson Coe, yeah.
Yeah. So he played in I'd say a relatively lower handicap team, but he's definitely shown a lot of improvement throughout the season.
I think this was Wilson's first season. Not his first competition, but his first season playing league.
I think so. I think that's the case. Yeah.
From what I can remember. And Wilson's an example of one of those players that comes in at a low handicap. Maybe not the most professional player out there, because none of us are professional, right? But he's an example of a player that's sort of come in as a beginner, semi-beginner, has sort of played with his team for the whole season, and has made friends with all of us. I didn't know Wilson that well before this event, and he received the Most Improved Player award because we actually had a few coaching sessions for the league this season.
So we've started to do a couple of coaching sessions after the session.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was. I think it was pretty fruitful. It's just an opportunity for some players to get some tips, to go through what they went through during that week, and if there's any changes to the game that they might want to adopt. And I think, so I think like credits to yourself, Harris, and I think Raycole, who was also at the training sessions. Yeah, a lot of great work, and it goes a long way, I think, because I remember when I started playing, people here and there, they just give you just like small like nuggets of information that go a really long way to your pool playing endeavors. I think there's like some points that you just you don't realize that they're so important, but you just use it almost all the time.
Yeah. A really unlucky scratch there from Tim. I think he tried to break out the castle there. The line was very close. But going back to what you said, Will, with the coaching sessions we ran this trimester, I'll say, since we're going by trimesters here, it was a very relaxed, informal environment. You know, we think of coaching for other sports as very formal. You know, you get trained for this amount of time, and you know, you can't rock up to this place. But with the coaching that not just me and Raycole, but also CueSoc, other CueSoc members as well, other experienced CueSoc members, it was a very relaxed, comfortable, informal environment, I want to say. One where everyone brings their knowledge to the table. You know, we sort of leave two tables open sort of at the end of the day and sort of discuss things with people and go through concepts with people, and you know, at the end of the day you're just talking.
Yeah.
We're all just around the table as mates talking. And I think that's the best way to describe, you know, what we did this season. But yeah, going back to Wilson was always at the coaching sessions, and I talked to him a lot about his gameplay, and he was there with Edgar and Jeremy there as well a few times, which is KFC Eaters 69, which is their team name.
Yep.
But also, despite being, you know, on the lower threshold of handicaps in the whole sort of pool of teams, very funny situation here. But yeah, their team was on the lower spectrum of the handicaps, but they were very keen to learn and very keen to discuss, you know, pool, I guess.
Yeah. And as the most improved player, he walked away today with a brand new cue.
Yeah, I think it was a Fury SP something, X, I believe, which is sort of has a really unique grip handle. And he also walked away with some Kumui Roku chalk, which is very new in the market and very, I guess, pricey chalk compared to other chalks, but it lasts forever. Kamui chalk has a very nice texture. And he also got a McDermott glove or Kamui glove?
I believe it was a Kamui glove.
Kamui glove, yeah, right. So, yeah. I guess, yeah, well, you know, we'll say congratulations to Wilson on receiving that award, and I hope to see him in future leagues as well, anytime that I'm around. Wow, great pot there from Oliver as we focus back onto the TV table. Very commanding.
No scratch on the 8 this time.
Yeah. And yeah, unlucky from Tim there. He came down to the last two strike balls there. Mm-hmm. But Oliver got the better of that sort of mini safety exchange, if you like. And
That's 10-5, pretty sure. Yeah.
so we're just waiting on the final singles match here, which is between Nad and Richard on the table sort of adjacent to the TV table here.
Both have one ball left, and the 8.
Unfortunately, we can't bring you guys the alternate angles for this CueSoc League. We don't have a phone to do that, but definitely maybe for Inter-Uni or for the next season of April League, when we do have access to the resources, we'll be giving you guys a secondary angle like we did in Inter-Uni 2019. This year, we had a bunch of multiple angles, and wow, great pot there from Nad, and a victory from him. But again, if we look at Nad's table, Alex came down to the last ball there, so still scoring a good amount of points even though he lost. Wow.
So now we're up to the doubles, and only 2 points separate the two teams.
Yeah,
so
still a very balanced game, Will. This is amazing. This is all we could hope for as organisers of the competition, right?
very neck and neck. So for our first doubles, we have Nad and Timothy to break, and playing against Richard and Oliver.
And yeah, this is the nitty-gritty stuff, Will. This is the sort of the moist action of of CueSoc League. Doubles is where it all happens. This is where you'll see the most discussion, the most high pressure situations, and the most reactions from all of the players, I think.
Double the players, double the intensity, double the points.
Double everything.
Double everything.
Exactly. Oh, and also, Will, I know you competed this season as well. How did you go in finals day today?
Oh, okay. So I competed with Jake and David. So two, I'd say, kind of mid-level handicap players.
Yeah, Jake Noble, actually the commentator from Scotch Doubles 2019. I commentated with him. So.
Yep. Yeah, I'd say. So we had a great season in our session. I believe we were the first seed in our session, and unfortunately we played a somewhat strong team in the first round. Didn't play our best, but they definitely deserved the win. But yeah, so. That just goes to show that like anyone can really win on finals day as long as you show up and perform. And yeah, it's I think regardless, even though losing the first round, we all had a lot of fun. It was a great season, and yeah, like if I had more seasons left, then I would definitely sign up. But unfortunately, this is my last season.
Yeah, I know definitely your teammates will. David, Yuan, and Chang were very dedicated players. You know, they took the day off work today, I think, just to come play. So, you know,
you'll definitely see them back at future leagues.
Yeah,
for sure.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
I'll see them for sure.
Like fun fact, this is actually the first time. So I've played. So starting in season 2, and this is like season 8. So that's 7. That's 7 leagues, plus the 2 9-ball leagues. So that's 9 seasons of league. And this season is actually the first season that I've played with a teammate twice, and that's Jake and David, who I formed the team with in season 6.
Yeah, you had the same team, didn't you?
Yeah.
I was looking through the photos, through the old CueSoc photos of the league, and I saw you guys pop up on the feed in one of the featured photos. Yeah. Really nice to see. So you sort of threw back there.
Yeah, I think it was either season 5 or season 6 that I played with them, but this is the first time I've ever played with a teammate twice, and it was we tried to go full circle and try to win this season, but unfortunately that didn't come to fruition.
Yeah, so the way the team formation works in League is, even if you win, so in regular CueSoc competitions, when you win a competition, you're voided from that competition, so you can't enter again to prevent you from just winning. But with CueSoc League, which is a team event, you have a choice. You can either sign up, if you play one season and fully complete it with 2 teammates, you can sign up the next season, regardless of if you win. You can sign up the next season with the same teammates, or you can sign up the next season with different teammates. It's completely up to you. There's no sort of restriction, except for handicap restriction, of course, but there's sort of no teammate restriction on who you want to play with for whatever season you want to.
I think to clarify, the past winners rule is only in effect of competitions that are not handicapped.
Oh, okay.
So, for example, Inter-Uni, if you've won Inter-Uni before, you can definitely compete again the next year. And if in the future, for whatever reason, we want to implement more handicapped competitions, then they'll also be free to play by previous winners as well.
So a little bit of a funny layout here for Oliver and Richard. We sort of got this cluster near the 8 ball. And I think, the biggest point of focus of this rack is sort of, if you see that 9 ball and the 6 ball, if Richard and Oliver can find a way to pot the 9 ball successfully, then it'll be very good for them, since the 10 goes in the top left as well, which is past that 3 ball.
Yeah.
So we'll see what kind of, solution they try to come up with. Maybe Oliver's trying to look for a good angle on the 11 ball here.
I think it's come up just short on the wrong side here. I may be wrong, but I think if he pots the 11 ball, he will be looking to play the 10 and then the 9 back into this, the bottom right corner.
Oh, that was a really good effort. A little bit underpaced. I don't think it's snookered, but I think that was a very good line from Richard there. He wanted to sort of come a little bit further up for the 9 ball in the bottom right, like you said, Will. A little bit of a pickle here for Oliver. We'll see what he tries to do here.
I think he's going for the double.
Wow.
Oh.
how's this cue ball going to end up? Not very good. Yeah, I think a lot of traffic there for Oliver to avoid, so it was very difficult getting position with it.
I think he's going to have to go rail first here. I'm not sure if he does see this completely.
What a shot.
What a shot.
And he's got great position on the 8 ball here. And because Oliver's so apt at potting, I think he'll have no problem with this. Yes, very nice shot, very nice shot. And also in the doubles matches, all the points you score are worth doubles. So in this case, since Richard and Oliver scored 10 points for the win, that'll translate to 20 points in the actual score. So definitely doubles has the biggest weighting out of all of the matches, I'd say.
Most definitely.
And I think both teams still have one timeout available, is that correct?
Yep.
So I'll hope to see some intense discussion maybe in the next 2 frames if a questionable game situation comes up.
But I'd say when you have two, so if your 2 best players on the team are both the same handicap and they're quite there, you would have at least one of them playing in all 3 of the doubles matches. So I think it might be a situation where we won't see a doubles timeout because I feel like they've got a capable mind on each.
So you think the experience will come through here, and maybe some of those tight situations won't come up as much? Yeah, I can see that happening definitely too. Since
I think that's the secret to CueSoc League actually. When you have 2 players that are relative a similar handicap, you have maximum value for your doubles. When you have a lower handicap in your as your 3rd player,
because they're interchangeable.
Yeah, and I think oftentimes we've seen, say, a 20-25 team advance very, very far into the season because I think there might be a correlation there with their success and the format of the team.
So I think the way the scoring is now, since WYS only scored 2 points in that last frame, they're going to be looking to pot at least the majority of the balls on this table. If they can't make up that point lead, it might be too big of a gap, and first spots and shafts will have the advantage. So definitely, if provided that Alex and Richard allow a shot for WYS at the table, I think the most important thing is for WYS to get some points here.
Yeah.
To make up for the deficit from the last frame.
They have to get to the table first.
Exactly. As we say that, Alex and Richard have a really good chance here to get a lot of balls off the table and possibly even run out if they can. A very big ask, but it's not like it's impossible.
Oh, wow. He's gotten very fortunate there. He's just missed the pot, but has landed in a very safe position.
Yeah, I think even if WYS can see the 1 ball, not really an offensive option available.
Yeah.
So you might see some sort of safety here or some sort of defensive play.
And if they do see a portion of the 1 ball, once they move it, the 12 will be available for them to pot. So it's very difficult to play a containing safe here. 10 seconds.
Oh, scratch there from Jono, I think. Yeah, it was Jono playing that shot. That's very unlucky. At the same time, a really good chance for Alex and Richard here to clean up some more balls. See what they try to do. I don't think not too many balls. Oh, actually, the 12 ball in this situation is probably the most awkward ball to deal with. So you'll see them take that now. I guess they want to get that out of the way early. And a really nice angle here on the 13 too. Richard made sure to roll forward far enough so that Alex wasn't too straight or wasn't on the wrong side.
I have to say Richard has performed very well today. As the lowest handicap player in the match, he's racked up quite a lot of points for his team, including that 10-1 double point
Oh yeah, the
victory with
previous
Oliver.
doubles. Yeah.
I think he's performed very well this final, and like we said earlier, the lower handicap player pulling through as probably like one of the MVPs of this match, I would say.
And I think the 9 ball has blocked the middle block there on the right of your screen. Well, luckily for WYS, they've got the 3 ball in the side, so definitely not as bad of a lead as the last time they were at the table. So I expect they'll score some points this time and start getting into stroke, I guess, for this play. Yeah. A lot of spectators here too. I think it's all boiling down to sort of this the second last doubles match.
Obviously, I would say all the pressure's on WYS at the moment because they really need to get that. They really need to tally up the points in order for them to catch up.
Yeah, really nice combo there from Jono. It wasn't even like a set combo. It was a very hard combo to line up since the object balls were so far apart from each other. The 3 ball and the 4 ball. So well done there. And I think faced with another top shot here for Nad since he's bridging over the 4 ball. And of course for CueSoc League, you can talk during,
10 seconds.
even without a timeout. Tim won't be allowed to talk to Jono and Nad, but Jono and Nad will be able to discuss however they like during this match. And I think it's out.
Yeah. It was like sort of an awkward contact with the ball, bridging over the ball, and his Q had a little bit of a little bit of a slip off the ball and didn't hit it quite hard enough for it to hit the rail. It's a very critical shot here.
Wow. Really nice. A little straight here, but that was very well struck by Richard. I think Alex was playing conservative there. He knew that he wasn't going to be able to force the angle out of that. And just Richard left with a really high pressure tester here. I don't want to curse it, so we'll just stay quiet for this.
I think that's definitely a smart play because they are in the lead and they don't want to unnecessarily give away too many points. Huge amount of pressure on WYS here.
Oh, okay. So a pretty good chance here. I think Richard opted to take that 8 ball in the side.
Yep.
Good pot there from Nad, especially under the pressure. And this ball is actually, the way this angle is sort of lying and with the 4 ball sort of on the rail there, this is a really big tester for Jono. As long as he strikes through this cleanly. And I don't think that's safe. I think the 4 ball was just sort of stopped right in time for Alex to pot this.
Yeah. And I think they're at a situation where...
Calculator. I don't know if Tim's correct.
Are we still playing?
Just let us calculate. So we'll just double check the scores for you guys to make sure that the points are correct and the point gap between these teams isn't too big.
Yeah, so I think at this point it's...
I think they won.
Yeah.
This is faces.
So the score is now 85 to 113. and that means there's not enough points left in the match for WYS to catch up, which means best spots, shafts, and tips are our 8-ball league season 8 winners.
Oh, what a short final.
Yeah, it's
Only an hour in length. I was
a lot shorter than
expecting it to go much
expected.
longer, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. So congratulations to best spots, shafts,
And
and
tips.
tips. I'll just say BST.
Yeah.
BBST. Yeah, wow, I'm really surprised at
Yeah.
that. And you know, maybe the reason that final went so quick really is because our players were as a very similar skill set.
Yeah.
As we were preaching sort of at the start of the frame, at the start of the match. So yeah, maybe that's the reason why.
Yeah.
But yeah, congratulations to all the players for making this far.
Both teams will walk away with various prizes as well, so they're not going home empty-handed.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Still net profit for WYS, and they won the minor premiership. as well.
Minor premiers and second place, and bets, boss, sharp tips, walking away with the champions of season 8. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess we'll finish it off there. Thank you for commentating with me, Will.
No, it was a pleasure. Yeah, I've always wanted to do this with you, but
Yeah, this is the
our
first time we've
schedules
been
never
there.
really aligned. So yeah, it's
But
great.
yeah, as we were discussing before, Will will be graduating from uni at the end of this year, and will no longer be with us at CueSoc. But I'd like to say thank you for being with us all these years. And,
I appreciate
for
it.
all the videography stuff.
It was a pleasure.
And I'm sure you guys will see Will around City Heroes,
Yeah,
despite
definitely.
him graduating.
Yeah, definitely.
Still be a part of the scene, no doubt.
Yeah. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I'd like to thank our sponsors quickly, City Heroes, obviously, for providing us with such an amazing venue for us to hold our events, and also Mikarin for for their support of our society as well.
And as you say that, Will, just before we go, City Heroes Burwood is a new venue.
Yes.
I think we've mentioned this before, but Burwood is a new venue
Yes.
opening for the City Heroes franchise. And I went down there for the soft open, and it looks really good. CueSoc will be holding a bunch of events there, and that's something to look forward to in the end of this year and early next year as well.
Yep. So by the time this video goes up, the Burwood Soft Open has already commenced. They will have a couple of Chinese table tables there and snooker tables, but by the end of this year, they'll definitely have all the American pool tables fitted in, beautiful 9-foot diamond tables, which is no, I don't think there's any pool hall in Australia that has that many 9-foot diamond tables, which is very exciting. So hope to see you guys there, and we'll definitely hold an event there in the near future as well.
So thanks everyone for watching, and big congratulations to Best Buds, Sharps and Tips for taking out the title. See you later.
See you guys.